Hey everybody, how's it going? Superfiend here. Welcome back to Whacky World. Of course, this is Planet Coaster, my long-lived Planet Coaster series. I'm a little bit slow in getting out videos lately, but I don't want anyone to think that I have been completely neglecting the park. I have not been completely neglecting it, only partially. Let's do a quick recap, really quick here. The last two episodes were little time lapses of getting these planners in here. So one episode for like these planners right there. And then there was another episode for these planners right there. I assume if you're watching this that you most likely watched all or part of those. And this is what they look like close up, right? They look really neat. Let's zoom way down here and look at some of them really quick. Just show off this beautiful handiwork. It's actually looking pretty good most areas of the park. Now, I also, in between those two episodes, I did do a live stream because I felt, well, I like to do live streams and connect with people, but I felt a little bit guilty, about putting out so much non-Planet Coaster stuff. And in that live stream, we did a couple of these over here, and then I've gone back in between that live stream and now, and I did this little one over there. And I did this one over here. I'm thinking we may do one more of them, like right here. And also in between that live stream and now, I did this little one here and this one here. And at the tail end of that live stream, I took these buildings and I kind of just arranged them a little bit. Like we might make a little pirate city over here with these and like have some walkways and stuff going through here. I'm not entirely sure about that. Like I do like the idea. I'm not entirely sold on the way it looks like right now. Interested for your comments and feedback on how it's looking. Like, should we put more buildings? Should it be like more crowded, less crowded? Should we just do like 3 by 2, so 2 rows of 3? This is a pirate. Whoops. Let me get the camera under control. This is like a pirate's governor's mansion, but it's a little bit big, isn't it? Like maybe it's too big for over here. Maybe I should just like remove all of this tail end over here, and then it's just going to be like a box though. So yeah, I don't know about that. I'm a little on the fence with it. I designed this in kind of like a sandbox thing. It's up on the workshop if you play Planet Coaster and you want to download it. I also have these two buildings which I kind of put in over here. I think I like where this one is. It kind of fits the theme over here with the docks and the piers and the jetties, whatever they want to call them back here. I'm not sure about this one. Like, I like the building. I really do like the building because it's like, under construction. It's this big bell tower, and it looks like they're, in the process of building the tower portion of it. You got some walls here that are incomplete. This is also, most of these buildings are on my workshop. I made these a long time ago. But I'm not sure if I'm happy with the placement on this one. I think I like it, but I'm not entirely sure. Because it kind of blocks, it's kind of big and bulky. And I'd have to expand the ground out here to make it fit. And then it's going to be like really close to the jetty. So I'm not sure about that one. And then this is another building that's on my workshop. It's kind of like a fancy residence or something like that. But it's a little bit big. Again, I like the building, but it doesn't fit over here. It's just too bulky. So I just kind of stashed it over here above the water for right now. So interested if anyone has any thoughts about a little bit of a lag spike there, about what I should do with this in particular, if I should trim this one down, and about the placement of the, so this is the mayor's mansion, or the pirate mansion, and then this will be like the bell tower. I'm pretty happy with the way, not the ride, this little building right here is. Let's see. This episode, what I want to do, the big priority today is, I've kind of alluded to it in the past, we're gonna play around with this because when we originally built this, like, I don't know, episode 60, something like that, it was a long time ago. When we originally built this, I made my own tables, and then Planet Coaster or Frontier, they did the update where they added the picnic benches, and then these picnic benches are much smaller than the ones that I had built. And with like all these picnic benches in here, it's just like, it's too big. This thing is enormous, and I feel like it just needs to be scaled down to like about here. Like we need to just take all this scenery and scooch it over here. That's going to create a big hole right over here. It's going to create a big hole. And what I want to do, I mentioned this before, but in case you missed it, it's being inspired by Legoland. When you get off the Coastersaurus, they've got like a sandbox. And so I think I want to like make this look like a sandbox, and I think that'll be cool. So that's the goal for today. I'm going to pause it for right now. And really quick, also, before I forget, before I forget. Okay, this thing needs refurbishment and it's broken down, so it's a perfect time to do it. And some of these rides, the Prestige, is past aging, and because when I was building, when I was building the playground stuff all back here, I was letting the simulation run. I was letting the park run, and I wasn't paying attention. And Kraken Voyage became classic. And I like to stop my rides from being classic. I kind of, if I can, I want them all to be classic, like around the same time, so that they don't negatively. Like if one or two rides is classic, it's gonna draw guests over there more than the other rides. I'd prefer all the rides to kind of hit classic around the same time, so that they still have equal draw to the guests. Of course, because I don't know how the simulation is actually programmed behind the scenes, I don't know if that theory is sound, but that's just how I think about it. And so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rebrand each of these. It's a big waste of money, but high seas, right? Yeah, that's going to stop them from accidentally becoming classic, because there's a good chance that I will not be paying attention to it and I'll miss it, and I should do it now while I'm thinking about it. And of course, we can't rebrand them once they hit classic, and I am not going to rebuild the Kraken Voyage. No way, Jose, is that going to happen, right? Yes, okay. And I still don't like the name of this one, the Temple Plain. If anyone's got a better name suggestion, I'm all ears. I suck at naming things sometimes. Sometimes some of my names are okay. Like the whole park, Whacky World, is kind of a misnomer. There's nothing in here yet that's really wacky. We'll get to that when we start working on this stuff. Okay, so I think we've done enough of that. Let's pop in here. Let's pop in here and let's start tinkering with this thing. It's going to be major park surgery, and I always forget to do this. Let's take a before screenshot, so that when it's finally done, I don't think I'm going to get it done in this episode, but when it is done, I'll have like a before and after. Oh, I also did this. These little shops here, they used to be open, and I went ahead and I just kind of decorated them. I put roofs and walls around them and hung some crap on the walls. So they're all filled in, and we got the Chief Beef sign here, which is advertising some destinations. And then there's a Pipshot Water sign, which is also advertising destinations. And I think they are advertising the Temple Plain and the Stockades, maybe? Excuse me, sorry. And let's see, is there anything else? Because I have been coming in and working on the park. I've just been a little slow uploading episodes. Oh, I did all this scenery right over here. Like I filled all this in. Previously, it kind of just stopped right here, but I went and I filled it in over here. These two buildings still need roofs. I did this little bit right along here. I think it actually came out really nice. But anyways, one of the reasons I've been slow to get episodes out is because I've been kind of playing other games and been on a kick for some of the other titles on my channel. But the other thing is like a lot of the stuff that's left to do, I've kind of already done for everybody. So I feel like, everyone's kind of already seen it. And I'm not sure if it's worth my time and everybody else's time to try to make an episode out of like every little thing that I'm going to do in this park. But today we're going to, because I don't want people to think that I have completely abandoned Planet Coaster, or am I, neglecting it or whatever. Sometimes people get a little nervous. They get a little nervous. They think like, hey, you haven't made a video for this in a while. Or is it still part of your channel? Like, what are you doing? Okay, those are a separate building. So in order to do this... Okay, that's pretty much like all that stuff. You know what? Before we start, the smart thing to do would be to advance move duplicate. Okay, and just like drag the whole thing up here. The reason we're gonna do that is in case I get the whole thing completely like, screwed up. And I will probably delete these shops. At the very least, I can close them. There better not be a person in there right now. There better not be a person. Okay. So, yeah, before we go and make, like, major surgery and get it all goofed up, probably a good idea to make a copy of that and just float it up in the air. Okay, now coming back in here. So we want to take, like, pretty much all that. But not that piece. And we want to split this off from the building. Okay, good. And let's see. Now let's come in here. I think we get rid of all these. If I can click on them all. Hey, there's a hole here. There's not supposed to be a hole there. Why is there a hole there? Which path is it? How do we do this? It's been so long. Select grid. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. For some reason, it doesn't want to make like a nice path right there. All right, forget it. The hole can stay. Now, what do we want to do, right? So we got this kind of comes in over there. I don't need that little section. Oh, boy, this is going to be a little bit tricky. So, you know, like maybe we want it to kind of come in like this. It really matters. What's going to control it is going to be like how cankerous is this path going to be to get this. What is down here? Is there path down there? There is path down there. Okay, let's just start removing some of this stuff. There's a little sliver right there too. Okay, so it should just kind of cruise in there, and then we get rid of that little piece. Okay, yes. This part over here makes me nervous. This little bit makes me nervous. Actually, that kind of works. That kind of works. Yeah. Okay, can we do this now? Let's see. So if this went up to like right there, that gives us quite a bit of room for a little sandbox, right? All right. We get rid of these pieces down here. So let's actually let's just grab all of that and let's duplicate it. And then now we have a copy of that, although it is still part of the same building. Then we can just select all these right here. We could delete those. What building is that a part of? That is part of the bigger building. That is part of the bigger building. So. Okay, and then if we like duplicate that. Really? Okay, well, close enough. Now we got copies of those. Okay. And let's try just scooting this in again, right there. Is the problem here, is it too bumpy or something? Like, what's going on with this? Because we want... No, not that. Okay, we need to uncover a little bit more of the path down here so I can kind of see everything. It'll be real easy to put these back because we'll just grab like 4 of them over here and duplicate them. Okay, so it's looking... I think the problem is like this. Okay, that's about as far as we can go. If we remove this section right here, it's going to completely break everything. And then, as a few of my viewers comment every now and then, it's our favorite game of Superfiend versus the path system. Now, can we just flatten through here? There we go. That might allow us to get the path to go in here nicely. So if we can get the right one, select grid. We want to turn off supports. We want to turn off railing and... Yes, yes, yes. Okay, very good. That... What? No. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. That looks good. Now we can bring this one over here, about like that. Alright. And what are these doing? Oh, somehow these are like not part of that building. So they're supposed to be on this table. So let's, ooh. There's quite a few pieces that are not part of this scenery over here. So we got this, the 2 legs, and the little piece of bread. 2 legs. 2 legs, both legs. This one too. Right? And the lantern. The lantern is also not part of it. So we want that, this, 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 and that. And we'll combine them so now they're part of that building. We want to split this off. We'll click on this and that one. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, there's a second one. Well, what is that a part of? Can I get that one again? Come on, give it to me. Come on. One building, 62 scenery pieces. Okay, I'm confused. Like, okay, what is that? Oh, that's a vista point. That's why I can't make it part of a building. Okay. Oh, I hid it inside the table leg. I remember. That was a long time ago. That was, I put that in there hoping it would, like, draw people over and it would make it look like they're looking at the fruit and stuff. I don't think it really worked, though. Okay, so now all this stuff is moving. One more little bit here. Let's see. That's part of that. That's, okay, so let's take this, that one, and that one. We'll pop them off of the pieces that we're moving. Take these. Yeah, they could be part of that now. Okay, I think we're finally ready to move this. Look at this. Only 16 minutes into the video. This is what we've gotten done so far. No, the lanterns. We got to do the lanterns. Are those not part of a building? What's going on here? They're not part of a building. How did I goof that up? Now they are. They're no longer homeless. Okay, let's see. That one way back there. No, we want this one too. Are you part of a building? You are not part of a building. You may be asking yourself, like, why am I, like, being so particular about making sure they're part of the building? Because I have them all, like, exactly placed where I wanted them, at least once upon a time. So I just want to, you know, keep them in that same placement in relation to everything that's around them. We wiggled it a little bit because it was a little bit slanted. Now it looks a lot better. And we can come up to it like about here. Looks pretty good, right? And then that is going to change, like, this whole thing. That's going to change this whole little deal here. Okay. No, let's, okay. Here's how we're going to do this. Watch and learn. Educational moment. We want it to be a straight line from, like, here to there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate that. So now it's too big, right? But now we can rotate and fidget with this until it basically goes corner to corner, right? That's what we want. Corner to corner. That is, that's pretty good. I guess it could turn, like, a little tiny bit this way. Like, ever so slightly. Okay, yeah, that's, like, about perfect. And then we do that. Is this poking into the path over here? No. We want to get this. Okay, this is the one that's, like, right on the path. So we want to make this one perfect if we can. Of course, why do I obsess with it? Because no one's ever going to go down there and look at it the way we are right now. But that looks good, right? Now what we do is we come in here. I don't think we need that piece. This piece we can split off. And we just, like... See, there's this little hole right here. This little itty-bitty hole. And we do that. And then we just change the elevation ever so slightly. And there we go. Fixed. And that looks pretty good. Now over here, we're going to take this. We're going to rotate it. Rotates about the center. And we'll just, you know, do this. Alright? Looks pretty good. That looks good. And then we'll Control X. Okay. And then, I guess we'll just do one like that. So, oops. Whoops. There we go. What do you think of that? That looks pretty good. One other thing that we could do, if I don't want to fight with the path system, but one thing that, like, if I really wanted to, we could maybe have a little joining path that goes from here up to there. We'd have to fiddle with the terrain and stuff, and it would probably look really nasty. What does it look like, you know, like right now if we tried to do it? Yeah, see, it's like we'd have to fiddle with it too much, but And then we'd have to clear out some of the scenery right here, but then there would be like another way for people to get up in here. And that could be cool. I don't know that we need it. I don't think we do. Okay, now. So we got some room to play over here with this stuff. And then, oh yeah, this right here. We need to fix this now. What are we going to do about this? Because this looks absolutely hideous. Let's see. Okay. So this one, why is it not turning there? This one, we kind of want to go from the corner here to right there. So almost like that. Almost. That's pretty close. Pretty close. A little bit more. Just turn it a little bit more. Yep. Almost there. A little bit more. Little bit more. There we go. That's like almost a perfect line from there right to there. Look at that. Who else are you going to get that kind of perfection from? Nobody. This one right here, we're just going to set it over there in case we need it. I don't anticipate that we will. This one we need to lift up a little bit because it's looks like crud. Looks like poop. And okay, that's looking better. Now what we'll do is we'll put like some plants or something over here, and to hide this, because we're never gonna get this terrain looking good because it's like right along the path. It's always gonna look kind of bad, and that's because of the way the terrain and the paths snap together in this game. It's kind of like my last major gripe about the game, I think. Well, I got a few others, but like if it didn't behave like that anymore, I would be really happy. That would go a long way to making me a happier camper. Okay, so now we can reposition this. And it doesn't like it on the hill. Okay, we'll put it right. I guess it's like, why does it have to be way out here? We can put it right in the middle. Is that tacky? Is it tacky to have it just like in the middle like that? I don't know. Like, I almost feel like there needs to just be like a post sticking up out of the floor behind it, but I don't know. Yeah, okay, that one. I was seeing if I could get that a little bit closer. Okay, so that looks a little bit better, right? A little bit better. It's not quite as humongous as it was. Like, with all this space that was out here was just too much, right? It was too much. Let's go back to terrain. Let's flatten. Okay, so now we can come in here and reveal all of our imperfections. Meow. Right here. Right here. Let's see. So that would go there. We split. And go right there. And just, like, all we have to do is move it back a little bit. And change the elevation just a little bit. It doesn't matter because it intersects with everything else. And we could put something to, like, hide this. Maybe we'll put, like, a little beam or something going up, because it does look a little bit janky or tacky right there. What else are we missing? What else are we missing? The rest of it's kind of okay. So let's go ahead. Let's put our... Well, what's all this back here? What is all that? We don't need that anymore, do we? We're getting too much. Oh, there's some over here, too, I bet. Ah, come on. Can I click on you back there? No. Okay, we'll just get rid of these ones. What is all that? Oh, that's that piece. Okay. So what we'll do now is we'll go boop, 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 and whoops, boop. Put that there. We'll put that. And get rid of this whole row. There we go. Look at that. That looks so much better. That looks pretty good. Oh, no. Ugh. What do we do about this? What do we do about this? One solution would be to split this one off. Okay, here's one. Oh, gosh. What have I done? What have I done? Oh, no. Oh, boy. Okay, I like this idea better. We take this one. We duplicate it. Get it the same height. Click it. Split it off from the building. This will be better. Yeah, see, this is smarter. This is smarter because it's going to make the part that looks kind of funky just this little sliver right here instead of like this whole piece, which stands out a lot more. On a side note, I had a hard time like doing this kind of stuff for a long time in Planet Coaster because I didn't like the way it looked when you did this kind of stuff with the paths. You know, where you have like these square floor tiles and they're not like aligned correctly, and you get all these like little pieces right here. You can see it really bad over here. Like if you really zoom in and you look at this, I mean, look at this. What a mess. This is like total trash. I hate that about this game. But I picked that up from just watching like, you know, some of the other more popular Planet Coaster people, S. Dan Wolf and the Lady Signer, really come to mind in that fashion, and a little bit Rudy. And, you know, they just kind of do that stuff and they cover it all up. And then when you're like way out here and you're looking at it, you don't really notice. It's not until you get in close and you see that it looks like a complete turd. So if you're having trouble with that kind of stuff, I mean, just bite the bullet and do it. It'll look better overall than trying to like deal with the limitations, or just don't even cover the paths with the ceiling pieces like this, and just use the paths as they are. But sometimes it's nice to have these different textures from the paths mixed in with your walkways and stuff. It looks good. Okay, so get rid of all those, right? We don't need that anymore. And I think we're good. We don't need those ones. And I don't think we need that one. So there we go. We managed to shrink that down pretty good. Oh yeah, and then a long, like, do I want to call it a holdover? Or something that like we touched upon way back when we built this is, look at these bathrooms over here. They're still not finished and they look really bad. Maybe as part of like doing this whole thing, we'll come back in here and we'll do these and we'll put the roofs on these too. Although I don't know that we will get to it in this episode, but that's like, as long as we're over here working on this, we may as well do it. And then like this whole corner and walkway of the park is like pretty much done, at least in here, right? And that's kind of good to knock things off the list. Now the fun begins. Sandbox. Let's make a sandbox. First thing we're going to want to do is get our paintbrush out. And we're going to want to go 100%, but not super huge. Yes, here's our sandbox. There is our sandbox. Superfiend, that doesn't look like a sandbox. It's much too neat and flat. Don't worry, we'll fix it. We'll get there. Okay, so we got that part. Why is there no fence right here? It's amazing when you're working on your park and stuff. It's like you zoom around and you find like all these little things. Railing on ground path. Oh, because it wants to put it over there. Okay, so we'll have to put a post or something over there. Okay, well, anyways, back to the sandbox. So now what we want to do after it looks like sand is we want to roughen it up. Or maybe we just want to like pull selectively in a few places. So let's make it a little bit bigger. No. I wish the default was sampled. It would make so much more sense, Frontier, if you watch my videos to make this the default. Sampled is just such a natural choice for that. Okay. So yeah, you know, a sandbox is going to be like, you know, bumpy, and it's going to have little pits and stuff in it, right? Because the kids are going to dig. And then we need to roughen it up. Okay, now what happens if we, like... Yeah, see, that's what we want. That's a sandbox. That's what a sandbox looks like. Although this one's a little too high, right? So I'll just. Can we smooth just like a tiny bit over here, like a real small smooth? Yes. Okay, good. This is good. I like this. Okay, and the little kids, they can come over here and dig and play in the sand. And that begs the question, how did they get in there? Well, there's let's see. How did they get in there? Do they come in off the main path, or do they come in from the food patio? You know what? They come in from the food patio or the food court up here, and I'll tell you why. Because if it's open here, and then it's open here, that's going to drive parents nuts because they'll want to like sit and watch their kids, but they won't be able to because their kids could just get out onto the main path and escape. So this is going to stay fenced in, and we're going to build a little entryway right here. That makes sense, right? And the entryway is going to actually be, let's see, do we want it here or here? We could go halvesies. I think we'll go halvesies. Let's see if we can make that work. Okay, so let's select all of that. Deselect that. Okay. So we want to scooch this table over. We'll nudge it back a little bit too. And then we want to... Oh, crud. We just want to grab, like, all of this. How do I want to do it? Can I deselect that one piece? Okay, so we'll go back here. And then... let's duplicate it, like, one more time. I know, it seems crazy the way I do this stuff sometimes. It really does, doesn't it? That's 3 wide. Okay, so now if we come in here, bonk, we just like clobbered all of it. Clobbered all of it. And then now what we want to do is, no, we want that, and and yeah, of course it's not going to let me click in there and grab that, is it? No. But now we're going to move all that stuff back there. We'll move this one too. The reason I made 2 copies is because, like, I was going to be destructive with this copy, and I wanted just one more in case I destroyed it too much. I could have always tried to do undo, but I may not have had enough levels of undo by the time I realized, like, I didn't like it. So that's why we did it that way. Okay, so now these, they're probably not going to go back in a nice line. Now it looks like they did okay. See, the thing is when we move these back out to here, we did it by selecting the tiled pieces and moving them, so everything snapped to the grid. But now that we're, moving them like, there's a grid piece in here. Now that we're trying to like move the free-floating scenery pieces themselves, they may not behave. Yes, these are the grid pieces, right? Yeah, they are. These tents. Okay, so we want to like, well, we'll do this. Just take all that, put it right. Ooh. Okay, we'll put it right there. And we want to move this. Okay, but... Yes, thank you for, like, tossing it up into the air. That's exactly what I had in mind. Okay, so now that can go, like, right there. Now, when I get in here and I select all this stuff... this one too. And this. Yeah, see, here we go. Now it's all screwed up. Okay, so let's undo. Let's try this again. Yes, I knew this was going to be a pain in the neck. Come on. Deselect you. All right, is that good? Is that good? We got too much. We got some fences here. We don't need this one. Okay, it's on 1M. Okay, so that's like where we want it. That works. The other thing we could do is after we drop them down, we can split them off and then Like, that just gives us this little bit of extra room to slide it over. And I think that's what we're going to do, right? Okay, now then right here, get rid of all this, okay? And so now we want to take this one and just kind of like put it over here. So get rid of all that. Oh, that works. Okay, can I please select this down to 1M? Okay. This one is like pretty much just right on the money. It's this one that was a little bit off. So that gives us like all of this right here where we can make a walkway to go down. I actually have a little bit extra room. Let's see. Let's like wedge this over a little bit more. All right. Okay, so now now we got to start like ripping this thing apart. We're gonna split these two off of there. They're gonna come down this way, where they just stay underneath this little bag of flour or whatever it is, trade goods. Change the elevation and change the change this out here so that they don't flicker. Okay, and then we move this one like in like that. We want to move this over like a little bit more, a little bit more. Yes, okay, good. Look at this. This is working pretty good. Okay, this stuff. Okay, you know what? We're gonna split this off. I'm fine with the table. It's just this big thing I want to move. Then we'll put this one like right there. Right? And then there we go. That gives us a nice little area where we can make some steps or something that go down into the sandbox. There we go. Look at that. I think that looks pretty good. And then now all we need is we need some steps. So the beams I think are going to be like perfect for this, and we'll do the haunted house beams. This is a little bit wider than 4M. A little bit wider. Can we like there? So we're going to use the 8M beam. And go... we want to make sure it doesn't poke through the floor here or here, right? And you know what? I'm just going to leave the color. I'm not going to be picky about it. Now, the easiest way to do this, I think, is to go straight out. Okay, and that's going to make sure that they're all nice and flush. All right. And we want to go... Well, I don't know how far we need to go. We may not need this many. It's not that much of a incline or elevation change. We might be able to get rid of most of them. I wonder what would happen if we... Like... Do we get much of a different texture if we do that? Or are they all pretty much the same? What about if we, like, just flip it around so that they're not completely identical? And it's really not making much of a difference, is it? Nothing you would notice. It's so funny. I'm like, you know, earlier, 10 minutes ago, ignore this hideous crap over here because you'll never notice it. And then over here, I'm flipping these things around one at a time to get these like little knots in the wood just slightly misaligned from each other. Yeah, like that's gonna make a big difference. Oh, okay, we need to go further out, so. so the steps are going to start at the third one. And that's because the terrain is, of course... No, it's going to start at the fourth one. And that is because the terrain is snapped to the path and, you know, just looks hideous. There we go. But that's not bad. And actually, look at this. I thought I was going to do, like, 1 by 1. But, like, look how good that looks. That does look pretty good like that, doesn't it? That kind of begs the question, why don't they make more steps like this elsewhere in the park? 2 by 2. That actually looks pretty good. I like the way that looks. And then, so we got this nice little walkway here. And then the kids can come in here. They can play. No sandbox is complete without, you know, just like a couple toys. So let's come over here and just like grab some of this stuff. Okay. And let's see. The toys I'd really like to do. Gosh, I don't know if everyone knows what I'm talking about, but there's like they're like vehicles and or horses and animals and stuff, and they sit on springs, and the kids like sit on them, and they can rock back and forth really well because they're real springy. You typically find those in a sandbox. Okay, let's do like one more of these. I'll put this one like over here. And we'll let this one like go down a little bit more. And then, of course, we're going to need to lift this up just a little bit. It's still unsampled. Good. Okay, but we all know how kids are, right? They're going to want to dig down to the bottom of this as far as they can. And then the other thing we're missing is like buckets, right? Little buckets. I don't know if we're going to find any scenery that's going to fit the theme that I'm going for buckets. And then right over here, we need to just like... we need to fence it off, basically. So like there. And there, and then that keeps them in over here. I mean, this is crude. This could change. This is subject to change, but... let's see. This one we need to split. And, you know, it'd go to, like, right here or something. Pretty good. And then, of course, if we want this to match the matching scenery around the edges, what we do is we put one... Oh, there, and then, like, over there. And then we move them all in this way. Oh, these are just a little bit wider than the walls, so they can kind of stick out like that. And then we want to take, I guess this. One there, one there, one there. I think I've done a pretty good job with this so far, seeing as how I kind of came into this with nothing in particular on my mind. Let's see. Now, this is going to be a little bit tricky. I get the feeling that this is like going to be poking out on one of these sides. No! For once, the scenery is like perfectly sized to do what I'm trying to do. That does not happen often. Can I click on this one? Can I click on this one? Can I click on this one, please? Eating mouse clicks. Okay, let's see. Let me get you just perfect. Yes, look at that. And then there, good. What? No, I can't. What? Oh, come on. What kind of rotational axis is that? Get out of here with that nonsense. Okay, but like right there, and then what that does, of course, is it lines it up with the rail, as opposed to like poking out at an angle in here, which looked really odd. But then the other two are just lined up over here, the way you'd expect. That looks okay, right? That's not too bad. I kind of feel like we need a little bit more in between here, though. I feel like we do. I'm going to ignore it for now. But I feel like we need just a little bit more just right in here in this little... right on top of that wall. But so far, I think this is pretty good. Let's just see if we can find like a sand pail. Some sort of bucket. And not a gigantic bucket that you would put a tree in, but like a normal-sized kid's bucket that a kid would actually play with. That's what I'd like to see. That's what I'd like to find. Ooh. No. I was thinking, what if we put like a big wagon wheel in here or something? No, I just want a bucket. Just want a bucket. That's all I want. A little kid's bucket. The one at Legoland, they actually they give free buckets and little shovels for the kids to use, which is kind of neat. Nice of them to do that. Let's see. Come on. There's got to be a bucket. Got a toxic waste barrel. Doesn't really fit the overarching theme of this area, though. I'm skeptical. I'm not thinking we're gonna find it. I'm not thinking we're gonna find it. Yeah. Okay, maybe down in here, like, you know, we got the hat. Ooh. Okay, this is never gonna work. This is such a bad idea. Look at the size of that bucket. See, here's the snowman bucket. All right. Here's what we're doing. It's not like the right scale, but you know, it's the only bucket we're gonna get. Why does it insist on being like that? Okay, so we just set the bucket over here. And oh, look, it looks like it's like conveniently got a little bit of sand in it already. How nice. Why is it upside down? Gosh. And we could change the colors on this, but I'm going to leave them for right now. And then the other thing we'll do is we'll just like, we'll put a couple buckets like right here, okay? So before your kids run down there with their bucket that's bigger than they are, they can come over here and get a bucket. And on their way out, they return the bucket, right? And then we can teach the kids like good manners and how to be a member of society by returning the stuff that they use. Boom. This one. Come on. Oh, boy. I just love placing scenery. One at a time. As if each one is a unique and special snowflake. With a magnificent purpose in my park. Alright, there. And of course, we got to rotate them all individually because, gosh, if they're all, like, oriented the same way, it just won't look good, will it? One of my videos, I mentioned that, like, I was thinking about making, like a video series of things I'd like to see in Planet Coaster that would make it easier to build. And S. Dan Wolf, I mentioned about it. He's kind of got a video or a series where they're doing that. I think it's called Planet Coaster Dreams or something. You know what'd be really cool, Frontier, is if we could scale the scenery pieces. So, like, if I could just take this bucket and just scale them and shrink them down a teeny weeny itsy bit. That would be a fantastic feature to add to the scenery in this game, because then, like, we could make pieces bigger and we could make pieces smaller. On a technical standpoint, that would kind of screw up some of the textures and the what's called LODs, or level of details. That would kind of make things a little bit funky if you made it too small or too big. But most of the scenery within a reasonable scale, you could probably, you know, change them about 20 to 30% in either direction, and it would still probably look okay most of the time. But let's save it. Let's save it. Come on. Where's my menu? We good? That is it. That's going to be it for this episode. We got a cool little sandbox here. We are going to be changing the fencing along this area, I believe. This is not going to be the fence that we're going to use. So we'll have some other type of fence along here. I'm thinking something from the adventure pack, although I'm not entirely certain. Let's go over and let's do a refurbishment on this since it's broken down. And... oh, you know what? We don't need this. Right? We don't need that. Boink. Get out of here. Yeah, that looks really good. I like that. And I like the fact that the whole food court area is now like more to scale of how big the picnic benches and whatnot are. All this picnic bench right here. Like, can we position you just a little bit better? About there. Okay, good. We'll save it one more time. One more time. Boop. Okay, I'm going to try to come back later this week with like one more episode, and we'll maybe finish this off. Finish this little spot in here, and maybe we'll clean this up too, because it's people are walking through walls. We can't have that. This isn't Beetlejuice or Poltergeist or anything silly. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. Leave a comment or a thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe if you're not. All the usual dealios, and we'll see you next time. You have a good afternoon. Take care, and thank you for watching.